Hello and a very warm welcome to this preview show as India take on South Africa in the second ODI at Paarl. This after South Africa had already registered a 31-run win in the first ODI. So this is a big match for India if they want to have any hopes of saving this series and look to, in fact, win the series in the third ODI. India will need to win this second ODI. Can there be any changes expected? Will you see KL Rahul coming down the order, batting in the middle order? Will you see Suryakumar Yadav come in place of Shreyas Iyer? Will Venkatesh Iyer get to bowl finally in this second match because he wasn't chosen to bowl in the first match? So a lot of questions remain. Nikhil Narain is here with me to look ahead to what one can expect. Nikhil, this is a huge match for India, and the 2022 year, the season itself hasn't really begun well for them. First, the Test series loss, and now even in this trailing 1-0 in the ODI series, and you go by what India had achieved in 2018, you'd say this is the worst tour, worse than that tour. And you expected India to do well here. You expected India to win the Test series as well as the ODIs.
Yes, Meha, it's not gone according to script for India. They've lost the Test series in the new year. They're 1-0 down in the ODI series. A big match today for India. They cannot lose the ODI series to this South African team. A big test for KL Rahul. He's not the limited overs captain. It's Rohit Sharma, but his name is being popped up for the Test captaincy. He did not win the Johannesburg Test. His record as Punjab Kings skipper is not good. And if he loses the ODI series for India, then I don't think it's a great advertisement for KL Rahul, the captain. I think much more than anything else, he needs energy on the field. He needs to take control, much like Virat Kohli did and even MS Dhoni did during his time. From South Africa's point of view, Meha, I think it's a big series. They've already started the resurgence in Test cricket. This series could start the resurgence in ODIs. They've lost. Remember, they've not won their last three series. They lost in Sri Lanka. Pakistan beat them at home in South Africa, and they tied in Ireland, losing a match in Ireland. So this will be their first series win in four series if South Africa manages to beat India today.
That is right. But if you just look at the last match, Nikhil, South Africa may have won by 31 runs, and that doesn't show the difference in the two sides because of how South Africa captured the big moments, how they bounced back from moments where they thought the match was running away from them. And I think that should give them a lot of confidence, which takes me to the next question as to one major difference between the two sides for the spinners. You expected Indian spinners, given the kind of class that they have, to perform much better. They were good, but were unable to take the wickets, whereas for South Africa, and I think some of that credit needs to also be given to Temba Bavuma's captaincy, but just how well those spinners were used by Bavuma and how effective they were in getting the wickets required.
Absolutely. The decision to start with Aiden Markram, the off spinner, was absolutely brilliant. He bowled 4 or 5 overs, conceding at just above 5. KL Rahul's lack of initiative against him, also did not help India's cause, but kudos to Bavuma and to Markram. I think Maharaj and Shamsi controlled the middle overs brilliantly. The main difference was not only did they restrict the Indian batsmen, as you can see the numbers, they also picked wickets. The more famed Indian spinners, Ashwin and Chahal, did not control the flow of runs, and also they could not pick wickets. Chahal was really disappointing for me. I say that because, his job is to restrict the batsmen in the middle overs and give India 1 or 2 breakthroughs. He could not do so yesterday. This was the reason he was ousted from the team after 219. I think the line he was bowling, I've discussed this before also, the line he was bowling was not correct. He was bowling middle and leg, whereas he should bowl outside the off stump, getting this first slip into play, getting the batsman caught at covers. By bowling a leg stump line, you also rule out the LBW. The only dismissal you then have is if the batsman gets out caught top edging a sweep. Unfortunately for him, Rassie van der Dussen, swept him to glory. The number of boundaries he got off Chahal of the sweep shot, and still Chahal continued on the middle and leg 9.
That's right. And kudos to the way Rassie van der Dussen batted, because there was a clear difference in the way he was batting and the way Temba Bavuma was batting, and this is what Mbabu might also said in the post-match presentation, that it felt like Rassie was batting on a different wicket. But we've got to talk about India's batting as well. KL Rahul, the first question that one needs to really think about in the Indian management is KL Rahul as an opener or KL Rahul as a middle order batsman, because we've discussed this, Nikhil. You've come up with those, you've told us about the numbers where KL Rahul performs much better in the middle order. And yet again, you saw KL, whenever he opens, and I know he said this in the past, that strike rates are overrated, but that has been counterproductive really for Rahul and for the team, because the strike rate goes down. He plays that anchor role, which probably India doesn't need.
Absolutely. He should have taken on Aiden Markram, but again, he's confused what to do when he opens. Only once in 10 innings across both the limited over formats does Rahul play aggressor. When he does play aggressor, Punjab Kings went on to win. When he plays aggressor, India goes on to win. But when he does not, it's counterproductive and detrimental, as we saw in the first ODI. Rahul must attack in the power play. There are no two ways about it. If they open with Markram, he must take on the off spinner. Also, the thing is, if he has decided not to play the role, the attacking role as an opener, then he must not sacrifice his wicket early on. He must then continue. He has to then at least score 50 plus, because if he scores 50 plus, he up the antes later, and India go on to win 7. India has won 7 out of the 8 matches when he scored 50 plus as opener. But Meha, remember all these matches, before a couple of years ago. Since the last 2 years, he's been batting at number 5. I've been repeating that KL Rahul has to bat in the middle order. He's more comfortable there. His role is defined there. But the thing is, Rohit Sharma is not in this series. So I don't think that will happen, unfortunately.
But then my counter argument with that is that, so what if Rohit Sharma is not there? Your place for the future is in the middle order. So why don't you continue with that and then get somebody from the middle order to sit out, maybe a Shreyas Iyer, and get Rituraj Gaikwad in. I mean, he's waiting in the sidelines. He's scored runs by the bucketfuls. He scored some 600 runs in Vijay Hazare. Was brilliant, highest scorer in IPL. Get him in to open, stay in the middle order, get Shreyas Iyer out.
That will serve a double purpose. First, you will get Rituraj, in-form batsman opening the innings. Then you will get the best of KL Rahul in the middle order, which also helps India because, as we'll discuss later in the show, India is having middle order problems. I mean, there is no depth in the lower middle order. So that helps India, but I don't think India will go that way. I don't know why, but that is the ideal situation. Rituraj should open, Shreyas Iyer dropped, and then KL Rahul bats in the middle order.
Yeah, and that gets me to the next question as to whether Surya Kumar Yadav should replace Shreyas Iyer. And I know we're being a little hard on Shreyas Iyer because, I mean, obviously you want to give a player at least 2 to 3 games before you really decide on that. But the problem I feel with the Indian middle order is that this has gone on for far too long. We've seen these collapses happen in the middle order, and you wonder what is the solution around it. Because yes, the coach as well as the captain have been talking about how they're trying to prepare a team for the 2023 World Cup. But if you look at this side, this is more or less the team that is likely to play in 2023 World Cup. So what are then you doing to solve this middle order problem?
See, Meha, in the long run, KL Rahul will bat at 5. I have no doubts about it. Absolutely no doubts. Then I think Ravindra Jadeja not being there and Hardik Pandya not being there in the lower order is also affecting India because they were the finishers. Rishabh Pant has got a couple of fine 50s in the series against England at home. But Rishabh Pant, if you see his record, does not have a great ODI record. He does not have a great ODI record. He is not the same player in the lower order as ODI player as he's in the test format. So therefore, India needs KL Rahul in the middle order. Talking about Surya Kumar Yadav, I think if India persists with Rahul opening the innings, then the one change they can make is get the X factor in by getting Surya Kumar Yadav in and dropping Shreyas Iyer. See, nothing against Shreyas Iyer, but it's just that the team, if there is no depth, I think Surya Kumar Yadav brings that extra dynamic into play. He's someone who can take the match away. He was also in brilliant form. And this is the time to test Surya Kumar Yadav. Shreyas Iyer also, if you see his last 5 innings, he's failed in 4 of them. a low sample size, but I think if India needs to win this match, they need an X factor in the middle order, especially if Rahul is opening. I think Surya is your X factor in the middle order.
Okay, for all those who are wondering why Shreyas Iyer from my side, because just before these 5 innings was the series in New Zealand, where he scored 100 and a 50 and a 60. So for me, Shreyas Iyer stays. I know that you come from the right place in wanting to sort the problem out in the middle order. But let's move on then to Virat Kohli and what is expected of him, because this is the time, and I think this is, we've seen this in the recent times, where Virat Kohli hasn't been the chaser that he used to be in ODIs. And I think that's what we need from Virat Kohli if India wants to win.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't got a test ODI 100 since August 2019 against the West Indies Port of Spain. He got that. So it's been a while. It's been almost 2.5 years since he last got a 50 over 100. His ODI record in this time frame, Meha, he averaged around 44. So in absolute numbers, that record is, not bad at all. It's better than most batsmen in the world. But the thing is, when he's not getting those big runs, especially chasing, as you saw in the last match, he got a 50, then very uncharacteristically he got out. That adds pressure to an already weak middle order, because Virat is expected to finish matches. He is not one-off. He is the greatest finisher ever in the history of ODI cricket, ever. Better than Devin, Hussey, MS Dhoni, all. So therefore, India has lost, by the way, only one match chasing where Virat Kohli has remained unbeaten. That is a staggering record. That happened against South Africa and Port Elizabeth in 2011. So Virat Kohli, if he is there, he will take India to victory if India is batting second. And India is missing that, because I think it's more psychological. I don't think he's out of form. It's just psychological for him in limited overs. He's not getting that big score. And I think if one comes, many will follow. But the question is, when will that one come? So that's the question.
Okay. We'll also talk about India's likely 11. But, Nikhil, the way he got out also to that sweep shot, that kind of summed up his state of mind for me. Because Virat Kohli, in the state of mind that gets him to score big runs, does not sweep or reverse sweep. He really avoids that. So I think the way he got out, and of course, Temba Bavuma has to be given credit for his captaincy. But let's also take a look at India's likely 11. Nikhil and I see that there are no changes. What do you make of it? Do you see maybe a Shardul Thakur, going out and Deepak Chahar brought in, or maybe Bhuvneshwar Kumar being kept out of this squad and maybe get Deepak Chahar in, because Shardul Thakur, at least with the bat, gave you the 50 runs, that, I mean, did take the score closer to the target.
See, I don't think India will make any changes, although I would want a couple of changes. See, again, Bhuvneshwar Kumar has been in brilliant form in ODI cricket to see his numbers post 219. He had a great 219 in the 50 over format. But because Paarl is a placid track, it's flat, it's slow, he's bowling at 125, 128 kilometers per hour. I think India needs pace, and therefore I would have played Prasidh Krishna or Navdeep Saini, maybe Prasidh Krishna over Navdeep Saini, just to get a little more variety in the attack. I just remember it was zip in with the new ball. But nothing against Bhuvneshwar Kumar per se. His numbers are fantastic. Just that conditions don't suit his type of bowling. The other change, I'm a little worried about Shardul Thakur's economy rate. Meha, he does get you the wickets. He's a partnership breaker, but since his debut, he is the most expensive pacer in ODI cricket with an economy rate of 6.8. That is very, very expensive. He went for 70 odd runs in the first match. I'm worried about his economy rate, especially on flat tracks like at Boland Park in Paarl. Batting wise, I would want Surya, but we've already discussed that.
Sure. We'll also take a look at South Africa's likely 11 before we go back on, because I want to discuss with you Venkatesh Iyer and why he wasn't asked to bowl. But let's take a look at South Africa's likely 11. And I see no changes there, because I really feel, Nikhil, that whatever is expected out of the South African team, they've done more, and they can be very proud of how they played so far. Going into this ODI series as well, India were the favorites, but just the way they came back from 2 positions where India could have run away from in the game, they came back, they bounced back, and I think that's incredible. But I don't see any changes in the South African side. Temba Bavuma leading from the front, scored 100, and giving him company was Rassie van der Dusen. I think both of them obviously carrying on that form from the test series where they scored runs as well. So I think this is perfect. And also how good was the Brace Jamshi for them. Their spinners doing much better than the India counterparts. But Nikhil, just coming back to the Indian side, and we were talking about Shardul Thakur's economy. You'd mentioned there that his economy is, he is the most expensive pacer since his debut and conceded about 6 runs per over. And I think that's a lot. So Shardul Thakur as a bowler does not fit in, but I think it's Shardul Thakur as an all-rounder they're going in with. Speaking of all-rounder, then I want to talk about Venkatesh Iyer. Does he fit into this side without getting a chance to bowl? If he's not an all-round, just as a pure batsman, do you want Venkatesh Iyer to be in the team?
No, he does not merit a place only as a pure batsman. India might as well play, Ishan Kishan or Surya Kumar Yadav in that case. If he's not bowling, I will not have Venkatesh Iyer in my 11. I was surprised he wasn't used. The reasons given were it's a wicket helping spinners, not much help for fast bowlers. But then why is he in the team then? I think bad selection and bad team management there from KL Rahul.
That's right. And the other thing that India can do, and which worked really well for Temba Bavuma, is starting with Aiden Markram in similar way. India can start with the spinner, maybe give Ashwin, because we've seen what Ashwin can do with a new ball.
Absolutely, especially against Quinton de Kock, against the left-hander, the ball turning away. I think India need to start with one spinner. I don't think Chahal will start, but I think Ashwin has done it before. I think Ashwin should open the bowling maybe with, Bumrah. I think that will be a good combination.
Okay, so now the news we're getting from Poland Park is that India have won the toss and they have opted to bat first. And I think it's not surprising, Nikhil, because we've seen that, it is the team batting first that has the advantage here. We've talked about it before as well. It's always the team batting first. More often than not, that has won the game here. But what do you make of it? How much of a difference will it make India batting first?
Yes, I mean, it does make a difference because batting first is easy. It's very hot. It's, I think, 40 degrees there today. So clearly advantage to India with the toss, and anything above 250 will be a difficult score to chase given the slow nature of the wicket. So yes, advantage India with the toss. Yeah.
Which is what I'm wondering, because KL Rahul has said that at the toss, he's saying that he thinks that it was pretty straightforward. It's a second game on the same strip, and important to put runs on the board, and guessing the wicket will get slower later on. Also, we have the playing 11, and as I can see, there are no changes whatsoever in the team, and which we talked about, Nikhil. So playing 11, the same 11, KL Rahul, Shikhar Dhawan, Virat Kohli, Rishabh Pant, Shreyas Iyer stays in, gets another chance. Venkatesh Iyer is there as well. Ravichandran Ashwin and Yuzvendra Chahal, the 2 spinners with Shardul Thakur, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, and Jasprit Bumrah. And in a sense, I understand where the team management and KL Rahul are coming from. I mean, this is the second game of the series, and I think if they want to try this combination, they'll want to give them one more game before they want to make any changes.
Fair enough. I mean, I told you, I don't expect any changes because that's not also the leadership style of KL Rahul. Caution before, any adventure. But it's okay. I mean, you give them a chance. You're building for the 2023 World Cup. The series is not part of the World Cup Super League. So I'm all right. I mean, I just hope Venkatesh Iyer is used as an all-rounder and KL Rahul shows some intent at the top of the order.
Which also takes me to the next question, that he insists on opening. I don't think he wants to go into the middle order right now. He insists on opening. And maybe he'll work out this time around, but just talking a little bit more about what he said. He said in the middle overs, we couldn't get the partnerships going, and that's the learning from the last game. Hopefully we can go out there today and show better performance. The batters themselves realize that's where it went wrong. We will learn from it, and we've spoken about it. The problem is that it wasn't just the last game. It has been a problem with the Indian team for some time now, that middle order muddle. So what do you make of this? They've obviously decided to go in with its same team. But clearly, if India wants to have any chances of winning here, they need to put up that extra 20, 30 runs that South Africa did. And for that, you'll need 2 or 3 batsmen to really get big scores.
Yeah, I mean, the average total batting first here, Meha, is around 280. So, India need to score at least 270, 275. Given the second match slow nature of the wicket, I think 270 plus could be a winning target with 2 world-class spinners. KL Rahul with this team cannot not open because there's no other person who can open with Shikhar Dhawan. I mean, he's left himself no choice. So, I hope India, same team, but a couple of, mindset changes and India can level the series here, Meha.
That's right. So let's hope that India can get more partnerships in the middle overs and the spinners come good with taking the wickets. But India have won the toss. KL Rahul has won the toss. They've opted to bat first. We'll get you all the latest from this match at Boland Park in Paarl. We'll also be doing a mid-innings show at 6 p.m. So do join us then. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.